All right, welcome to your deep dive. We've got a good one today.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to this one.
This is for a listener who sent in a story idea.
Oh, cool.
Um, and it's a really cool one. They want to write a story that has like crime thriller, mystery, even a little bit of the supernatural.
Oh, I like it already.
I know, right? Yeah,
Mix it all together.
yeah, exactly. And it's all set against the backdrop of the Indonesia-Malaysia border.
Whoa, that's a really, really cool setting for something like this.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tons to unpack there.
Okay, so let's start with what we know,
Yeah.
right? We've got a detective, and they're haunted by something from their past.
Okay, a classic setup. I like it.
Right. Always works.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this case, the listener mentioned the detective barely escaped a bombing years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're talking some serious trauma, right?
Yeah, both physical and emotional, I'd imagine.
Definitely. And this all comes crashing back when they get assigned to a new case, a serial killer case.
Oh, this is getting good.
I know, right?
The stakes are high.
Right, and it's happening along this Indonesia-Malaysia border. What's interesting about this specific border, from a story perspective.
Well, like you said earlier, borders are just inherently interesting.
Right.
They're more than just lines on a map, you know?
Totally.
I mean, think about it. You've got physical divides, obviously, but also cultural clashes. You could have like conflicting laws.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that kind of creates these gray areas, which are perfect for stories.
Right, the perfect place for, like, smuggling, maybe.
Exactly. And this border in particular, it's got all of that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Dense jungles, crisscrossed with smuggling routes. You've got these bustling port cities where you have all these different cultures colliding.
Wow, so many possibilities.
Right. And you can't forget about the indigenous communities that live on both sides of the border.
Oh, of course.
They have their own unique traditions and beliefs, and those could definitely play a role in the story.
That adds so much depth. I love it. Okay, so we've got this detective with a traumatic past.
Right, a bombing they barely survived
Yeah, and now they're working a serial killer case.
in a super complex border region.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, how are those past scars going to affect the detective? Like, are they going to help them or hurt them in the investigation?
Yeah, good question.
Right. Will they be hypervigilant, maybe notice things others miss?
It's possible, yeah. Like, maybe their trauma makes them super aware of their surroundings.
Yeah, or maybe it makes them impulsive, like prone to making rash decisions.
That's possible, too. Trauma can do that, definitely.
Right. Oh, or here's another thought. What if the detective's experience with the bombing is somehow connected to the case?
Ooh, that's getting really interesting. I like where your head's at.
Right. What if it's not just a coincidence that they're assigned to this particular case?
Yeah, that could be a really cool twist.
Exactly. And the listener even mentioned something in their notes that could add to this. You remember the Pontianak?
Wait, the vengeful female spirit?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
What if the killer is somehow invoking that legend?
Whoa, that's chilling.
Right.
So you're saying the killer could be drawing inspiration from local folklore?
Yeah. It's like they're tapping into these existing fears, adding another layer of terror to their crimes.
That's brilliant. So we've got a detective wrestling with their own demons, a killer possibly inspired by local myths, and it's all happening in this complex border region. What about the victims? Did the listener give us any clues about them?
Yeah, they did. They indicated that the victims are all connected to illegal logging operations.
Wow, that ties in perfectly with the setting.
I know, right?
It's like everything is starting to connect.
Exactly. So does this mean the killer is like an environmental activist, someone who is taking extreme measures to stop the logging?
Possibly, yeah. Or maybe it's a rival logger, someone trying to eliminate the competition.
Ooh, good point. So we need to think about the power dynamics in this region, right?
Absolutely. Who benefits from the chaos? Who's exploiting the jurisdictional confusion at the border?
Those are great questions. All right, and what about the clues the killer leaves behind? The listener had a really unique idea for that.
Oh yeah, what was it?
Origami figures.
Origami. Whoa, that's so cool.
Right. So specific and unusual.
Yeah, and it adds so much to the killer's profile, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like a calling card almost. But what does it tell us about them?
Well, it tells me they're meticulous, maybe artistic.
Yeah, I see that.
And they could be using the origami to taunt the detective, like, look what I can do, catch me if you can.
Ooh. Yeah, very creepy.
Right. And each figure could be a symbolic clue. Maybe drawing on local traditions or referencing specific victims.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah, it could become a kind of macabre puzzle that the detective has to solve.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got a detective with a dark past, a mysterious killer potentially inspired by local myth, victims connected to the illegal logging trade, and these creepy origami clues.
Oh, and we can't forget that amazing setting.
Right, this border region that's just rife with tension and intrigue.
It's the perfect backdrop for this story.
It really is. So the big question is, what kind of story are we dealing with here? Is this a straight-up crime thriller, or are we leaning more into the supernatural?
Well, the listener has done a really smart thing here. They've kept it ambiguous.
Ah, so it's up to the writer to decide how far they want to go?
Exactly. The detective's trauma could manifest in unexpected ways, you know?
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It could blur the lines between reality and perception.
Right, so maybe the Pontiac isn't just a legend.
Maybe it's a real, tangible presence influencing the case.
Oh, wow. Or maybe it's all in the detective's head. Like, their trauma is just twisting their perception of events.
Exactly. That uncertainty is gold.
Ooh, I like that.
It keeps the reader guessing, constantly questioning what's real and what's not.
I love that. So, so good.
Right. And it's not just about the Pontiac either. Remember the bombing? What if someone else was supposed to die in that attack?
Whoa, okay, I'm listening.
What if someone survived who wasn't meant to?
There, I see what you're saying.
And now they hold a grudge,
Whoa, that's heavy.
right? And their motives are like deeply intertwined with the detective's past. They could be the serial killer.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good twist. It connects the detective and the killer
Yeah.
in a way neither of them realize.
Exactly. The detective is running from their past while the killer is driven by it.
Wow. There is so much to explore here, so many possibilities with this idea.
Absolutely. This listener has a really solid foundation for a fantastic story.
Couldn't agree more. Can't wait to see where they take it.
Me too.
Thanks so much for diving in with me on this one.
Oh, anytime. Always love a good deep dive.
Me too. And to our listener, good luck with your story.
You got this.
All right, that's it for this deep dive. We'll be back with another one soon. Until then, keep those story ideas coming.
See you next time.